Hello and welcome to episode 68 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, the podcast where we take a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie list. I'm Colin.
And I'm Niall.
And this is Random Movie 7876. You Only Live Twice from 1967. Obviously one of the James Bond movies. 1 hour and 57 minutes runtime. Metascore of 61, user score of 6.9, had a budget of 9.5, and I believe it took in 112 million. So these Bond movies back in the day were money spinners and very, very popular.
Yeah, and you can understand why. They're not exactly the most highbrow or cerebral, but they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, so this is interesting. So obviously Sean Connery he'd started off with Dr. No, From Russia with Love after that, Goldfinger, Thunderball. Then we have this one. Then George Lazenby came in after this one because during this one, Sean Connery was like, I've had enough of this shit. So,
I want to do movies that aren't James Bond.
Yeah, he was getting harassed in Japan during this shoot as well, and he didn't have a good relationship with the producers in this one. So he gave it up. Lazenby came in and said, "Nah, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my career." And then they gave they flashed the cash to Sean. He came back for Diamonds Are Forever. It's 4 years after this one. So I thought this was his last one. Obviously, he came back two times.
He's seen the green.
He saw the green
glint of some dollaritos, and he was like, "Okay, I'll have some of those."
Yeah,
can't blame him for that.
No. So he came back then for Never Say Never Again, which is another story. It's got to do with writing, authors' rights to Thunderball, yada yada. We'll get into that if we ever pick Never Say Never Again. The synopsis for You Only Live Twice is James Bond, Sean Connery, is sent to Japan to team up with their Secret Service to help stop Spectre's Blofeld from starting the Third World War by setting America and Russia against each other, they're missing a word, by kidnapping their spacecrafts. So one of the only ones, or maybe one of the first ones, to not feature anything shot in England, all shot in Japan, bar the sort of missile command centers, but they're all indoor sets. This was filmed around Japan in a couple of rural areas.
No pine wood.
They built the volcano mountain, and they could see it from 3 miles away or something.
I was watching it with different eyes last night, because ordinarily you're watching James Bond turn the brain off and ninjas. But looking at that set, that is amazing. The amount of work that went into that.
Yeah, it's huge. It was huge. I think the budget for the set was bigger than the budget for Dr. No, I read.
Jesus Christ. I'm not surprised. Yeah. It's a humongous set.
If you are into Bond movies and you obviously follow the actual theme tunes, which are a steadfast pinnacle part of each movie. Essential part. This song is really good. You Only Live Twice. It's got that famous violin
riff,
sting.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like the first 3 seconds of that song starting, and I'm sitting going, "Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this movie now." It's a good way to start a movie. It really is.
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, Robbie Williams tore that up for one of his hits in the 90s. But this was the original. Nancy Sinatra sung it, and I read that it took her 25 takes to sing it because she was so scared. Drunk. I think also it's the first non-English singer to sing the theme tune as well. But obviously, straight after this one, Diamonds Are Forever, after Her Majesty's Secret Service. Shirley Bassey, I'm guessing, I think was Diamonds Are Forever. Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of Bond songs, really.
Yeah, You Only Live Twice, though, it's great. I love the dee 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 dee. I had to kind of Google it because I was like, is this the original or is this just a riff on one of the previous theme tunes? But no, this was the first time really good song.
The composition of the music, and in all Bond movies, let's be honest, is stonking.
Yeah.
I can't remember a bad composition for a theme tune.
Yeah. Obviously, you have to give John Barry a shout for actually the James Bond theme tune that we all know and love.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to a couple, I think 2 now, Bond orchestra type things, which are quite good.
Sean Connery's up front orchestrating them, yeah.
That would be weird.
especially when he's dead.
Yeah, that would be something else. I'd pay to see that.
No, I'd give at least $20 to see that.
And some. Directed by Lewis Gilbert, who had Alfie, directed Moonraker, directed The Spy Who Loved Me. Roald Dahl popped in and did the screenplay of this. Had never done screenplays before and said, "Yeah, I'll give it a go."
He doesn't do too bad.
It's fine. It's Bond, you
Yeah,
know.
but how hard can it be? Ninjas. There you
go. Instead of Russians, let's do ninjas.
Yeah. What more do you want in the movie? Minions and ninjas.
I had to laugh though. The ninjas just came down non-ninja like on ropes, all guns blaring. They didn't even use their ninja-like skills.
No, they had one guy who knew how to use a sword, and he ran around
using
he
was
the sword
good
when he didn't need to.
Yeah, he was really good. But there was a one entrance point. What do you think they were going to do? Like, give me 100 ninjas. All right. Nah, just give me 100 fat people and the sumo guys earlier on. Let's go.
Well, a few of those could have been pretty handy for, meat body shields.
Fat bastard.
Yeah, that's all I could think of.
Well,
when
the
sumos give up.
Well, before we get into the plot, let's talk about that, because I think Austin Powers movies have really broken this genre for me. Like, this movie here is basically the cornerstone of what Austin Powers is set on.
It really is.
It really is.
Before we go too deep into that, though, I just want to give a shout out to a special, very special Simpsons episode with Hank Scorpio as the villain who lives in a volcano.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but there's so many things just were ripped off of this to be comedic in Austin Powers, and even when Blofeld runs around like Dr. Evil in this movie, I could not take him seriously.
Well, that's the problem.
And the way he stares as well.
Because Dr. Evil is 100% based in Blofeld. Yeah. All of his mannerisms, all of his quirks.
Yeah.
It's comedic styling, but it's the same guy.
It so is. It so is. All right, listen, the premise of this is that the Americans and the Russians, they keep on sending rockets up, not learning their lesson. And every time they send one up, this mysterious thing that's shaped like a
Space
Big Johnson.
Big Johnson. Yeah.
It totally reminded me of Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah, with the radars.
Yeah, that looks like a big
Johnson.
Wiener, get your wieners here. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So the UK are going, so this is at the start of the movie. It's the UK going, no, it's coming from Japan. They're up to something. And then Russia's going, no, it's the UK that's doing it. And then, no, Russians must be doing it. So this is the premise that Blofeld keeps sending up these rockets to kidnap these space capsules, and he wants to trigger World War III.
Felt sorry for the lad at the start, the astronaut who's out.
Yeah.
With his, I don't know what he's holding, like a hair, not a hairdryer, or a clothes hanger or something, doing space science.
He's trying to get a reception with the clothes hanger.
I can't get challenge 4.
Twist it around some more. That's it. Leave it there. Right, stay out there.
There's Coronation Street. Yeah, get back in. Oh no, the big chompy machine's coming.
And he just stood there, and the graphics were terrible, but he just...
listen, it's 67. I wanted to say something mean about it, but then 1967.
The rockets were good, but him floating on a rope was bad.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure how they could have done it better though at that time.
Yeah. So we do get a bit of a red herring at the start as well. Once we see this premise and the staging of the plot where World War III is sort of planned or imminent or being manipulated by somebody with a black rocket, we see Mr. Bond doing what he does best in Hong Kong.
Just after the line, our man in Hong Kong is at work on it now, while he's getting jiggy with some Hong Kongese lady.
Yeah, who quickly gets up and goons come in and shoots the bed that has been collapsed up into the wall. Hired goons.
Yeah. It's a great scene. You're like, oh my God, James Bond's dead. And then you went, wait a second, you only live twice. Yeah.
Yeah, you only live twice, Mr. Bond. So the British Army come in, because obviously this is pre-separation.
Pre-handover.
Yeah, I think it was 96, right? 95,
yeah,
94 maybe.
Now. Doesn't feel like it. That's because we're old feckers.
Yeah. Anyway, the army come in and goes, he's dead.
Yeah. Poke at him with a stick. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Don't bother taking his
stick him in bag.
Pulse. So we get a nice, the way the Bond movies start. We get the intro, the
Nancy kicks
setup.
off. Yeah.
Nancy kicks off, and you get the graphics that only the 60s and 70s Bonds have. When it got into the 2000s, it was too graphic-y. It was too high res. I want shadows, and I want pieces of paper mache cutouts, shadow silhouettes, and just random crappy graphics.
And
Those are the best.
suggested,
Yeah, nudity.
nudity.
Let's just say it as it is. It's very alluring intro always, the Bond intros.
Has to be. It's essential.
Yeah, it's what he does best. Anyway, they chuck him into this sarcophagus and dump him off a boat as his burial. And obviously he gets picked up by a submarine, and he's got a old breathing apparatus, and he's still alive.
Like, I'm not going to criticize too much of the silliness in this movie because it's a James Bond movie, but surely there's an easier way to fake your death than being dumped into the sea
Yeah,
in a sarcophagus.
But that's a good thing. I was thinking about this when I was looking at it. The great thing about the Bond movies, especially in the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s, where it was the novelty of the scenes, novelty of how people were taken out, killed. Like the scene in this one where the Chinook helicopter magnets the car and dumps it in. That's what Bond movies are all about. Not just
daft
shooting.
Weird ways of killing people.
Yeah, I remember thinking... Go ahead.
The way he's dumped into the sea reminds me of Mr. Fleming and his actual job during World War II, where he was in the Navy, and his job was to come up, him and a bunch of lads, to come up with weird plans to foil the Nazis. And one of his ideas, not his idea, but one of the ones they all worked on together, was to get a hobo who was just died, put him in a major's outfit, put some documents in his pocket, and chuck him off the side of a boat. Oh. Operation Mincemeat, I think it was the name of the operation. And the Nazis picked him up, and they were fooled by the operational plans in his pocket, and apparently it saved a bunch of lives.
Damn.
So Mr. Fleming was an honest-to-goodness spy who did stuff like this.
Good. That's good research there.
I read the. It's not research. I read the book like 10 years ago.
A biography of him?
No, Operation Mincemeat, the actual story of the chucking lad off, some Welsh hobo.
Isn't Mincemeat the dog in Fallout?
It is. Yeah, he wasn't chucked off the side of a boat, though.
No. All right, so inside the submarine, we've M and we've Miss Moneypenny. Don't do your Bond exit.
You can't.
Let's just not do it. So it's got, you get that, you have to have the hat being thrown on to the hat stand. You got to get
essential.
Not a lot of flirting, though. This time around, a little bit with giving him the password. I love you. Say it back to me, Bond.
Oh, I'll remember.
Oh, I will remember.
Like, foiled again.
Yeah. So he gets basically, he says he gets his orders. Go to Japan, meet up with the man, and figure stuff out. Do what you usually do in the last 5 movies that you're in.
Yeah, kill some people, sleep with women.
Yeah. So he heads to Tokyo. You got obviously your external Tokyo scenes that you're in Tokyo, flashing neon. Whatever, head to a sumo match where he meets his first lady encounter. I love Aki. Yeah, so let's go back to our hotel.
He's like, hello.
Then we have Mr. Henderson.
Yeah,
wax his leg.
Wax his leg. He comes across as a bad guy.
Right.
But he's not.
No. He's suddenly talking to him, and then he just stops, and Bond's going, hey, up, this is strange. Goes over, and there's a knife in his back, the old paper walls in Japan, which I can contest for.
They're not the most secure, let's be honest.
No. If you want to...
Oh, no, I might be killed at any time. I better put my back to this paper wall.
Doink. Dead.
Yeah.
So he heads down, and he catches the knife thrower and
beats chunks out of him, yeah.
Takes his disguise and pretends he's damaged or injured and heads into the back of the car.
Sick. Yeah, that take us home.
Heads to Osato Engineering.
And has chemicals.
Yeah, sort of Engineering and Chemicals, Inc. It's like Time Cop, where it changes the names.
Yeah.
He has a pretty good fight scene here with the guy that dropped him onto the sofa. Pretty good. The Buddha weapon knocks his head off.
Yeah, very effective, yeah.
Chucks him into a fridge and has a little shot of horrible vodka.
Siamese vodka.
Yeah. Gets the safe opened. Gets the safe opened. hears footsteps, and Aki is there to save the day again in the car, right?
Yeah, she's a habit of turning up and saving his ass multiple times.
Yeah, and then she runs away, and he's trying to catch her, and he falls into this trap to see Tanaka.
Tiger Tanaka.
Yeah.
Who's potentially actually more sexist than he is, which is very impressive.
Well, like, I don't think I have any Japanese listeners, but Japan is a highly sexist country where the men dominate everything. That's first-hand source of living there. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So they find out from the stuff they got from the safe that it's orders for Liquid O2 and blah, blah, blah. Locks, yeah. And then Bond says, I like sake. 98.4 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's very impressive that you can figure out the temperature by just knocking back a shot of it.
Yeah.
Exactly, with decimal points and everything. That's because he's Bond. Yeah,
exactly. How many glasses of sake has he drank to know the exact temperature? A lot, obviously.
Yeah.
So the photo as well, there's a little tiny photo in the documents that they sent, and it shows a boat, and it shows diving girls, the ama.
Ningpo.
Yeah. And then we get a bunch of scantily clad ladies scrubbing Bond and Tanaka in their baths, and I think Tanaka says sexy full or something. The ladies are sexy full.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I wrote this down. I can't see it now. It's weird. It's not something you'd see in the movie now. No. Oh, good choice. She's sexyful.
No. I think there's a little bit of reluctance on the girls' part, because these girls were not actresses. They were local people from the rural village that they shot
Get out of town.
much of the movie in. Yeah. So I believe there's a little, but I think they obviously maybe just paid them enough, and they were
here's more cash. Just lather this guy up.
Yeah, we got 9.5 million. Here's 10 yen.
and a sponge.
Yeah, just lather this guy up good. So, strangely enough, he says, all right, get me back to Osato. I had a fight in there last night with a guy, killed him, put him in the fridge, but let me go back again.
Yeah,
I'll meet with Mr. What's his name? Something.
Mr.
Osato, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. And number 11.
Mrs. Brand. Mr. Osato's got a nice X-ray camera. You can see his gun when he goes into the office. And he doesn't trust Bond, so he just goes...
Well, he knows he's an agent of some description. Like, just, yeah. He knows before he comes in. He knows when it's organized that this is an agent. I'm probably going to kill him.
Yeah. So he just says kill him, and he legs it in a car. Aki again comes to save the day.
Yeah, she just seems to
calls in a helicopter.
Right.
Yeah, Tanaka's on the TV in the Tesla that they have, and he's like going, "Yep, help's on the way." And this Chinook comes out of somewhere, grabs the car that's chasing them, and
dumps it in the ocean.
Chucks them in the Sea of Japan. Yeah.
Now, one thing I always found weird, even as a kid, looking on at the camera, where it's showing the helicopter flying over the Sea of Japan, dropping the car in. My question was always, what the fuck is taking the picture of the helicopter flying? Is there another helicopter?
And then who's taking the photo of the helicopter? Taking a shot of the helicopter.
It's the same with when he's looking later on at the end of the movie, where he's looking at a picture of the chomping robot at the end. And I'm like, where the fuck's that camera?
Yeah, well, they did it already in the scene where he goes to Tanaka I think Osato. Yeah, Osato. No, it's Tanaka. I think that he shows security footage of him coming into the place, and it's just a scene. It's just the camera shots we saw. It's not security footage. It's just the shots we saw. It's like, okay, fair enough. You wanted to cut a bit of cost there. No security, no real security cameras.
The thing is, 90% of the people, or probably 100% of people back in the day, wouldn't have copped it.
You're saying people were dumb back in '67?
No, but they weren't as tech savvy, perhaps, as people nowadays.
Yeah. Well, he heads down to Kobe Docks because that boat is in. heads down with Aki and gets chased by dock hands because that's what
Fucking
happens.
dockers. Nothing to do with Osato. They're just dockers.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, what are you
He's
chasing
dressed
him
well.
for?
Let's get him.
Yeah, and they just keep on coming one by one, and he shoots the shit out of him and says to...
Yeah, they're coming at him with a stick. He's got a gun. If I was those lads, I'd be like, I have a stick. I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm clocking out, lads. So this guy is
not
weird.
a good fight.
I'm just a guy that puts crap onto a boat. I'm out of here. See ya.
Yeah.
I'm going to get drunk on some 98.4 Fahrenheit sake.
But it doesn't help him.
No. He gets clonked on the head, and Osato is magically there when he gets clonked on the head. He sends Aki away to get help or whatever, and he gets clonked on the head, gets tied up in the boat, whatever, and he's got this weird moment with number 11, Miss Brandt, and she's like, "Oh, I'm in love with you," or like I'm on Bond. It's like, "Oh, my woo worked." So you just do a quick cut scene to them in a helicopter and
in a plane, and then a board slides out.
Plane.
She goes, "Oh, I have to get off here." And
bye.
Again, thinking of Dr. Evil and the lads, thinking of Scotty, where he's like, "Just effing shoot him! Why are you feeding him? Shoot him! I can do it now. It'll be fun."
That's what I felt about at the end too, when Blofeld had Bond for 40 minutes. He just didn't do anything, and that's exactly where Austin Powers just harps on that so much, and it makes it so much fun.
Some elaborate and easy to escape plan to kill him, and we're not going to watch.
Yeah.
But still, listen. It has to be an elaborate method to kill him. Otherwise, it's not a Bond movie.
Yeah, like you just the thing you remember. It's like the laser going up to his crotch in one of the movies.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
So he gets out of there. He drives the plane. He was kind of stuck for a second, but he gets out of there. It's fine. Heads back to Tanaka and Aki. Says, "Oh, I'll call for Little Nelly and Q." And Little Nelly's a little Lego helicopter that he builds. And
I loved this scene as a kid.
Of course, because
I really wanted Little Nelly. That'd be great crack.
It's actually based on a real mode of transport. I read in the trivia, obviously, because you see it fly, but it's
incredibly dangerous, apparently.
Yeah. Q, you always love Q.
He always comes out with the toys.
Yeah. He was always good to see. And then he was in so many movies, so many Bond movies.
So many Qs.
Yeah. All right, so he goes on a little reconnaissance of the island where they get, they're looking for where this boat's been dropping off shit, and he spies the volcano, but nothing goes on. And then there's a little chasey scene with a bunch of helicopters, and who wins?
Little Nelly.
Little Nelly wins with a bag of tricks.
Protects her honor.
If you can imagine any Bond chase scene, just imagine this. And the tricks, rockets, everything. You've got everything.
Flames, mines.
Yeah.
I was waiting for an oil slick, but it didn't happen.
No. In the meantime, the Russians launch again, and once again, it's eaten up by a dark rocket, and it lands back in the volcano, and we see our first glimpse of Blofeld's hand stroking his cat, like he did in Doctor No.
Goddamn iconic.
So iconic. But again, I get ruined by Austin Powers because there's random henchmen just running around everywhere.
Mr. What's he called? Mr. Pickles? No,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Mr. Bigglesworth. Oh yeah.
But he's in one of the movies. He's like, "Okay, everybody, I want everybody out of the room. Not you, Mr. Bigglesworth. Not you, Mini Me. Not you, random henchman, twisting buttons on a thing." Yeah,
brilliant.
But yes, it ruined me. We get a very brief introduction to Hans, who really should be the henchman de jour of the movie, but he's not really. He has a very short.
He's big hands.
He's got a big hands, but he feeds the piranhas. We've got a nice little Bond villain piranha.
Oh, with the floppy bridge door. Oh, fantastic! Yeah. What a great way to kill people.
Number 11, Miss Brand, fails her test. She didn't kill Bond, so she is now fish food. Yep.
These piranhas eat a lot of people.
And again, Austin Powers ruins me because he's going $100 million.
He does. I want some lasers and some sharks.
So he's like, "Kill Bond now. Let's go get him."
Yeah.
So anyway, Bond has to do some ninja training first, naturally. This was shot in Himeji Castle, which I've been. One of the
Takashi's
very
Castle.
no, yeah, it is actually, isn't it? Isn't it based? I think it's based on Himeji Castle,
Is
but
it?
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know actually. But Himeji Castle is one of the very few like original castles. Like every time you go to a castle in Japan, it's usually just built in the 19th century or even the early 20th century because they're all
Fake then.
firebombed in
Yeah.
World War II and
Yeah, of course, Christ.
on fire, or like if it's not during the war, it's during just normal fires, and it's like stop making things out of wood. So many earthquakes and candles. It's like that doesn't make any sense. But Himeji Castle is really really cool.
It is cool. It's an awesome scene,
Castle.
actually. It's a great location to
Yeah.
film some ninjas doing ninja things.
Yeah, so like we can just gloss through this. There's a lot of things in this. It's ninja training school. He's got a rocket cigarette. You're gonna have to take a wife to get into the island, which is kind of a stupid thing. He's got a face like a pig. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
But she's an agent of mine. Tanaka says. So, and then another troubling thing. Bond becomes Japanese. He goes through this thing, and he's like, "You don't look Japanese."
So un-Japanese. He's got a new haircut.
Yeah, he's like a
That's
very
it.
generic, stereotypical, straight across the forehead Japanese, as they were seen
Yeah,
back
and he
then.
crouches now instead of being 6'2".
Yeah, he hunches over. It's like, oh yeah, he's
Honestly,
Japanese.
I'm not really tall. No, you're still freaking tall, but you're crouching.
Yeah, yeah. It's shit. It's stupid. It's a stupid part of the plot. It really is.
It is. To be honest, not something I noticed at the time as a kid.
No, you wouldn't.
Now it's so freaking obvious.
Yeah. Ninja comes in and takes out Aki with some poison down a string, meant for Bond, but there's some unfortunate head turning in the night, and Aki gets it. So
I think that, you know what, I like this scene.
It's a good one. It's a good, well thought out one.
It's a
Ninja
good
coming in
way
through
to
the
kill
window.
somebody. It's silent. It's, you get away, you're grand.
I'm guessing it's based on real ninja techniques. I'm guessing.
I would think so.
I would say Roald Dahl probably did a little bit of research into some quiet assassination techniques.
Bro, I'd put my money on Fleming on this one. It's probably directly from the book.
Actually, having said that, this movie is one of the ones where it takes nothing from the book, literally.
Really?
Yeah, something like it's one of the least sort of transferred over.
Take the title.
Yeah, I took the title and then just changed it up. Yeah. So I wouldn't, if you want to purchase and read You Only Live Twice Tonight, you're not gonna see. I don't even know if it's based in Japan, actually.
Doesn't even have ninjas.
No ninjas, no party. Somebody else tries to kill him with a spear the next time, but he sorts that out. Anyway, he goes out, sees his wife. She's actually nice, obviously. That's because Bond always gets the nice ladies. This is where I noticed he was hunching over, looking like a bit different and a bit weird. He just acting a bit country.
Country bumpkin.
Yeah. So yeah, he's put off. He goes to the house where she lives, and she's like, "You sleep over there, and you sleep over there." And he looks at the oysters and goes, "Won't be needing these."
Okay.
All right. Jesus. Expecting a bit much from a stranger, were you? One of the first, maybe, and if not the last one that dubbed over nearly every Japanese character, if not all Japanese characters in this. Every Japanese character is dubbed because you can tell like they're not saying the English words properly with the shapes of their mouths.
There is a couple of lads in the operations center later on in the volcano.
The guy that keeps on saying,
what
repeat the countdown, repeat the countdown. Yeah, just like Dr. Evil.
Yeah, but
that's in the cloud.
That's his actual voice. It just looks weird.
He sounded real, but pretty much all the female characters and Tanaka, they're all dubbed. Yeah,
which doesn't need that, but I don't know why that was done that way.
Well, if like I know from living over there, like when I don't like Japanese, have a very hard time speaking English, and if they don't understand the English, they don't form the words. And like this was me learning Japanese as well, and so I could tell by the shape of their mouths that they were not even sort of. It would have just been like one string of consonants, vowels, and not even done well, because obviously L is not in their vocabulary mouth shape, so any L's are going to be horribly pronounced unless you study English forever. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
that's that's not me dissing anybody. I'm just saying that it's just the way it is.
At that time, and you said there was a bunch of villagers used to do some of the
True.
acting. I'd
Yeah.
imagine the amount of English in a small village wouldn't be all that high.
Yeah. I never really caught his wife's name.
Aki 2 is how I
Aki
refer to
2.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Aki.
Anyway, he gets a big notice during the night. Hey, the countdown's changed. They're going to be taking off in a couple of hours. So him and his new fake wife go boating to a cave where she said, "Oh, I think I know where to go in," and it's full of gas, whatever. She's in a white bikini for the rest of this movie now, for some strange reason.
As a ninja, it's not very useful.
She's not a ninja. She's a diving girl.
She's an agent of
She is an
Tiger
agent,
Tanaka.
True.
So you got to be stealthy. Not in a fluorescent white diving outfit. It's not great.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, well, we can't go in there because there's gas in the cave, so we're just going to hike all the way up to the crater. So he's in normal clothes and she's in a white bikini. They stop halfway up, obviously have a little bit of a kiss because that's what Bond does. Helicopter goes over them. Disappears. Then he says to her, listen, head back, get the ninjas. Wake the ninjas. But the ninjas are sleeping.
I guess you're going to have to wake them up then.
We're going to have to wake them up then. So the US are launching. Bond gets into the craters with his suction cup knees and hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Super would not work.
No.
You just fall straight to your death after the first move.
Yeah. He gets a lift on the wonkiest plastic rickety train I've ever seen on tracks.
Don't you dare diss the monorail.
Monorail.
I love it. I absolutely adore the fact that there's a monorail. And they built a monorail track.
Of course they did. They spent millions on this.
It's just amazing.
I want a monorail.
You can't have a layer without a monorail in it.
No. I want 500 henchmen just wandering around running in formation.
They have to be color-coded.
Color-coded. Red for engineering. Yellow, sanitation.
Amazing. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. He hops out of the wonky train. It actually looks like one where a clown would be in, actually. With his monkey sidekick. He rescues the astronaut, says, "Yeah, let's get into these outfits and I'll be an astronaut."
Yeah, why he is chosen is interesting.
Well, he's Bond.
Because he's James Bond. Obviously, he knows how to fly a spaceship.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, astronauts are the worst people to pick to go up in a spaceship.
Yeah. Aki 2, in the meantime, is trying to the poor soul is she's trying to swim from the bottom of the volcano to her village, I guess, and this helicopter, she keeps shooting at her, but she dives under. It's not tense at all because it just happens like in 30 seconds, and then we don't see her elude or escape. Or we don't see any underwater footage.
Under the water back to the village.
Well, she's
what is it, like 20 miles?
She's a diving girl.
Well,
so Bond heads up and he makes a foo-foo, and Blofeld goes, "Stop that astronaut, get the reserve astronaut." Reserve astronaut!
It's just amazing. Every order repeated and shouted.
Yeah. So then we actually see Ernst Stavro Blofeld, Donald Pleasance.
Absolute legend.
With his wonky eye.
And his cat.
He goes, Mr. Bond. Bigglesworth. And this is when he says, "You only live twice, Mr. Bond. Prepare for firing. Prepare for firing."
Wait, again, the whole, why don't you just shoot him now? Because
well, that's it. This is what I was talking about.
10 minutes earlier, he said, "Kill Bond now." You have him do the thing that you just said.
Exactly.
With shouty.
Yeah, exactly.
But kill Bond now. No, have him hang around and watch your plan unfold. Nothing bad can happen from that. And let him have a cigarette.
Yeah. I'll have a cigarette, Blofeld. Well, sure, yeah, give him his cigarettes. So the rocket goes away. The ninja and the girl now is, Aki 2 is in a dress, but she's got her bikini underneath the dress still.
It's still fluorescent white.
Yeah. Man in the crater.
So she got back to the village. She went, what can I wear that's fluorescent?
Yeah. What can I do to stand out in the scenery?
Yeah, because all the ninjas wearing grey. Yeah. I'll wear glowy white.
So anyway, there's a big, he Bond takes the cigarette. It's the rocket missile cigarette. He kills the guy, poor guy, the henchman at
Who's the guy who opens the door? All his
opens the
job
door.
was
Yeah,
open the door.
that was his thing.
He's not that bad. He opens doors. No, he's dead.
He opens the crater door. Yeah, so he kills him long enough for the ninjas to get through in a not very ninja way. They just keep going. They come down and go, yeah, fuck up. Shoots everybody. Big, massive gunfight going on in the lair.
The Caldera guns or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. And obviously, in the meantime, when Blofeld's with Osato in the thing with all the other people, he brings his gun out and shoots Osato instead of Bond.
This is what we do with
dumbass.
Failure. Kill Bond. Kill the guy who's a threat to you, not your buddy.
Yeah.
Absolute ham.
So then he takes Bond on the wonky train again, gets out somewhere, and then he says, "Goodbye, Mr. Bond." And then a ninja stars his hand. He goes, "Ow!" And runs away like Dr. Evil.
Yeah. Hands flailing.
Yeah. We have a Bond and Hans showdown, which could have lasted a bit longer.
Yeah, but it's suitably,
fine.
His death is suitably graphic.
It's written in the stars.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
But it was easy. Yeah.
Big, hungry fish in that water over there. Hans is definitely going in. No question.
Yeah, they're not going to be hungry for a month after that.
He's a big lad.
Yeah, but like he basically just, he runs for Bond on the bridge, and all the Bond is tuck down, flip him over. Done. See ya. Then we have the tense, obviously, climactic shot of the movie where he's trying to turn the key in time to blow up the black rocket.
Oh, you missed it. You missed the one-liner though, as Hans sails in through the air.
Oh yeah, say it.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Yeah, I do have it written down, but I didn't think it was that.
Well, it went from one chomp scene to the next chomp scene with the space chomp.
Yeah, I was ready to chomp, but he turns it into key in time and it blows up.
No, do you remember what the button was called that stops the chomp spaceship?
No, I don't. What was it?
Because they said it 4 or 5 times, and every time they said it, I chuckled to myself. It was the exploder button.
Of course it was.
It's just a fantastic name for a button to blow something up.
I think Blofeld was insane.
Yeah, he has an exploder button.
Yeah,
and he doesn't shoot the people he wants to shoot. He shoots his friends.
What do you want to call the big? What do you want to call the big red button that we use to blow up the rocket?
I'll have the exploder button.
Exploder button, because that's what it does. Or leave me alone.
Crazy wonky.
So now Blofeld opens up a new hatch on the crater wall and just blows up the entire volcano.
With another exploder button.
With another hidden exploder button, so he's not dead. He's probably coming back. Well, and they swim to safety. And Bond and Aki 2 end up in a boat, which ends on top of the sub, which is another iconic scene I remember from watching this before as a kid.
But it's like every other ending in a James Bond movie of this genre, of this era.
Yeah.
He's always getting canoodling, and then the British services turn up and he's like caught in a precarious position.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the way the movie ends, really. Yep. Cue the violins.
Oh, cue. He's very good in the violin, that Q fella.
Well done, Q. So yeah, so that's You Only Live Twice. Yeah. I haven't really rated it yet. I need to figure out my brain. So you go ahead with your plot.
Plot. There ain't much of a plot, but there is a plot. So I'm going to give it 2.5. Just because I couldn't give it more because the plot's kind of silly in places.
Yeah, same. But I gave it 2.5 just before you said 2.5. It's average. It's good on Roald Dahl for taking it on. He obviously has pedigree. He's a good guy. He adds a little bit of uniqueness, bit of novelty to some set pieces that are there.
The ninja count from 10 to 20 or something like that. We need more ninjas in this story.
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, so like they, the production staff went to Japan to scout out some scenes, and they got to the airport or whatever, and something happened. They didn't get onto the flight. That flight was the famous flight that broke up over Mount Fuji in extreme turbulence.
Oh, crap. This movie would not have been made.
No. And then after that, nobody flew over Mount Fuji again because they realized, oh yeah, mountains equals turbulence, especially a big-ass mountain like Mount Fuji.
You bloody idiots.
Yeah. Acting I give 2 because Bond movies are not about acting. I
No,
don't
they are
think I
not.
could look at any of the actors here and go, man, that was good.
Like, there's only one actor in this that I would say has got acting pedigree, and that's Donald Pleasance, and he
Yeah.
doesn't use it.
Nah.
Kill about now. He's not acting.
Nah. He could have went a bit further with his
He's, he's
accent.
he's not really given the chance to be sinister in this. He's only in it for like 30 seconds. Really, he just appears. For a lot
Yeah.
of it, he's just the back of his head holding a cat.
Yeah. What did you give acting?
I gave it again 2.5. You know what you're getting with Sean Connery. Everybody else is kind of incidental. And Donald Pleasance, while he's on the screen, he's more than passable. He's decent enough, but again, he's not there very long. He's not given a chance to be properly
Yeah.
evil, like he was in The Eagle Has Landed.
Sure. True. Yeah. You can tell he was dialed out a little bit on this one.
Yeah,
Soundtrack I gave 3.25 because you're getting the Bond theme, you're getting
Nancy
one of
Sinatra
its
kicks off.
yeah, you're getting a seminal song. So
Yeah, I put down 3.5 for this. Like the music is, and then the theme tune is used throughout the movie, as well as the Bond theme tune.
Yeah.
Nothing else really to add to it. You don't need anything else, really. Not really.
No,
It's good. Works lovely.
No, yeah. I'm giving production 3. I could have given it 3.5 for the evil volcano layer, but I think I don't know, a little bit more thought on the choice of actors for Japanese actors, and perhaps a little bit more care into finding people that could speak English a bit, so you didn't have to dub, and just other
Well, if they
nuances
hadn't
like
blown
that.
all their budget building an actual volcano layer.
Yeah, and then they probably just left it there in a part of Japan.
Even villain moved in directly after the movie was made.
Yeah, it's ready-made.
Ready-made layer, fantastic.
Yeah.
I give the production 3.5. I love the layer. It's just great. It's fantastic. With a retractable
Sunroof. Yeah.
Fantastic. If I was an evil villain, that's where I'd like to hang out.
Yeah.
With a monorail.
Monorail. Yeah. No, it's an enjoyable movie. James Bond movies can look aged, and you can be,
and this is aged, and some of it's quite misogynistic. It's Bond.
It deals with the Japanese race, let's say, a little weird with trying to disguise Bond as a Japanese by really just making his skin bit browner and giving him a bowl haircut. And
I don't think it's super offensive. It just makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy, and it didn't really go that far. But I'd be interested to maybe a Japanese person in their 20s. I wonder what they would think about it.
Yeah. Like this
doesn't really affect us because
in my brain, a movie like this gets a bit of a pass because I grew up with it.
Well, yeah, you've got nostalgic hooks into it.
That is very true. Perhaps growing up now, looking at this movie, you'd be like, oh, "Dear God, what the hell is wrong with you? Saying this is a good movie."
Yeah, it'd probably be embarrassing to watch one of these Bond movies with somebody in their 20s.
Yeah,
most likely. I think it would be quite uncomfortable for them if they don't know where these Bond movies are coming from and what age they're in, and what type of. Actually, to be honest with you, I read Dr. No because I was interested in see what the actual Bond novels were like, and the novels are worse than the movies.
Oh, really? I've never read any of the Ian Fleming stuff.
The one thing I remember from Dr. No was he was talking about one of the ladies he'd been with, and he said something like, "Yeah, but she was just a beast." Like it was basically basing women on primal animal references, and it wasn't like beast, so she's great. Like in modern lingo, is like she was a beast, as in an animal. And
nice.
It was weird. It was so weird to read. It was like, what the hell? It was Bond referring to women as a woman as a beast, a poor beast or something like that. It was weird. Very weird. Yeah.
Different times, thank God.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's cancel
this culture right now.
Cancel Bond. I'll give the
kill Bond now.
Yeah. I'll segue into the worst review here. The Austin Chronicle gave it 30 out of
Austin
100.
Powers.
Austin Powers gave it 30 out of 100. Connery didn't want to play Bond anymore, and it shows in this forgetful picture. From a stirred, not shaken martini, Tanaka offers him a stirred, not shaken martini. I forgot to mention that. And he went, yeah. That's fine. To the training ninja school, to the surgery to make Bond Japanese by shaving his chest hair.
Yeah.
There's nary a moment of this film that doesn't make any viewer cringe.
I get some of what is said there. I have to admit that.
Yeah. Did they shave his chest hair? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because he jokes as they're looking at his hairy chest, going, maybe you could just dye the bits that show.
Ian Nathan in Empire Magazine gave it 100 out of 100. I'm guessing this was a retro review. Director Lewis Gilbert effortlessly marshals the intricacies of the plot, a nutty plan by Smersh to ignite a world war, the exotic Japanese locations, and the extravagancies of having hundreds of ninja warriors abseiling into a huge enemy base, unfathomably constructed in the belly of an extinct volcano. Quite the engineering feat. That review summary didn't really do anything for me. Just retold the plot.
I think both reviews, if you stick them together, you get the movie. There was ridiculous Bond stuff with ninjas and volcano layers, but then there's some lazy stuff and some unpleasant, cultural things.
Yeah.
So yeah, both are right. So
yeah,
we are right. They're wrong.
We're always right. Okay. Yes, we will finally cancel this movie, and let's randomly choose a movie for next episode. It's movie 3861.
Ooh.
And movie 3861 is a movie called Straw Dogs from 1971.
Why does
Do you
that
know
sound
of it?
familiar? That is very familiar. I haven't seen it.
I
think it's a very famous movie. I just haven't seen it.
It's got Dustin Hoffman in the leading role.
Okay, cool.
The summary is very simple. A young American and his English wife come to rural England and face an increasingly vicious local harassment. Now, it is directed by Sam Peckinpah, so there's a bit of pedigree there. He directed The Wild Bunch, and what else did he direct? Well, he's an actor in Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, very good.
Brimming the Head of Alfredo Garcia director. What else? That's about it, I guess. But yeah, so a known movie name, but I can't remember watching this.
It's definitely something I've seen, not seen, but I've seen in passing, not watched. So that's interesting. It's obviously decent. It's 3,861, so it's reasonably high up the list. So
yeah,
it's got a
Metascore of 73 and a user score of 7.1. So
not bad.
Yeah, I think I've often seen it at people's top 10 lists of movies. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because increasingly vicious local harassment. That's what does that mean? What are they doing? Is it just racism? Is it something their job that they're doing there? I'm just kind of intrigued. Oh, you know who's in it? I just see his name, Peter Vaughan. You know who he is?
No.
He's in Game of Thrones, wasn't he? As Maester Aemon. Maester Aemon up on the wall.
Maester Aemon. Oh,
the guy with the chains.
Yeah,
the blind
eyes.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also Anthony Hopkins' dad, or not his dad, but the dad in Remains of the Day. yeah. No, he'll be good to watch too. Cool. All right, let's leave it there. We'll ramble and warble on for a long time about nothing. So cool. So we're heading into episode 69, which is another end of a decade for us nearly. We'll have a review episode after that. Send us an email if you haven't communicated with us already. It's 50krandommoviereviews@gmail.com. Share our podcasts if you can. That would be great. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.